second thoughts. Now you a single mom. Now you a single mom.
That's enough of that. You're bullshitting.
Man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Totally.
And that's a nice way to wrap up that part of the video. After finding that part, I said, listen, baby, you've been touched. You're going through something. I saw the text message from Greg Pill's side. I'm been finding this information, this, that, third. Girl, you come out with a book. Stop playing. Stop lying to the American people. You did this for just to pull and make your bag nice and full. Let's be honest. We listened to the whole story throughout the whole night did not make no sense. And trust me, I watched the first tape and I'm now watching the second tape. I'm not sure if I'm going to go watch the second time now. There are some things I miss from the second part. But overall, it's like, this is some weird gaslighting, all type of words we can't even explain right now. You know? To sit there and say you ain't got tested, nothing wrong with you. No, there's something wrong with you, baby. Don't listen. Anybody told me I go pay for somebody and say I'm fine, fire them, go find somebody else, a second opinion. And why are you going to the United Kingdom to go find what's wrong with you? You live in America.
Right. She said she had 3 therapists at one point, and I'm like, why do you need 3 therapists? First off, like you said, she was sexually assaulted, and you were never diagnosed with clinical depression. You were never diagnosed with PTSD at the very least.
The crazy part is she actually said she had issues, but yet she went to professionals and didn't have issues. Right. Come on. That makes
no sense. Yeah, I think she's lying. She's lying on this. There's
all right, come on. All right, you coming home. All right, come on home.
But I will say that she has issues for reasons. She has reasons.
We lost her. We lost her.
Narcissistic personality types will never acknowledge.
We are not psychiatrists, so we can't say what the diagnosis is.
Yeah, because I'm not a psychiatrist, I can't say it and not get into any trouble. If I was a psychiatrist or a psychologist, I couldn't say this. But I'm saying she has a narcissistic trait, and people with those traits cannot acknowledge any flaws.
I would say this.
She sat there and lied when we could all see that through her story. At the very least, PTSD.
That is crazy. I can say this from my experience, and I'm talking to a nice lady next to me. Like, this is weird to me, right? Because I kept hearing the word, like, people was throwing out like candy, and I get it. When people just, every time you have an attitude, somebody has a chip on their shoulder against you, oh, they're narcissists, oh, they're narcissists. And I understand it, right? I never understood what the word means. When this literally happened to me, because this right there, this story we're looking at is stretched long. Mine was shorter. When this happened to me, I just took it as like, yo, this person got issues. Okay, I'm moving on. And then when it came in that same domino effect, the energy vampire, the flying monkeys, those all terms connected with the narcissist. Somebody kept saying the same keyword over and over again, and I looked into it. When I tell you I was diving so deep and all the dots start connecting, I was like, this is bananas. So now that opened up a whole, I guess, another eye for me to kind of help me observe and be more aware of certain people and those behaviors. Because, and I would just, you don't have to say, you know, because I don't want to say this to try to get you to be on the haha told you so, or to be in favor to the conversations we had earlier. But like Kay, I said earlier, this is really a teachable moment. Just on the narc side of it, I would implore anybody to, not just us on the panel, to go actually, there are spaces where actually professionals give you a whole playbook, a blueprint, how many traits, what they are, how they gaslight, the energy vampires, even a full blueprint of the, and I will even send in the back before we go to, just cause when I'm done talking, of the crazy, because this is a whole new a hierarchy of it for me, but it all falls in the same pattern. So I would just implore people to just take your time out. Don't listen to when people just randomly say stuff, but actually just fact check it. Look for professionals that actually does this for a living, you know? Because this is wild.
I want to say this real quick.
Yes,
because
ma'am.
I know a licensed therapist, and he always, he puts information on his stream all the time about psychosis, and he says a lot of psychotic trauma can be brought on by traumatic events. Now, this girl did say that she was raped and that she never dealt with that.
We like
Then she
great. We
goes
have to
from
use the word
Great,
being
great.
raped.
great,
We like to use
great,
great.
great.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Great.
Great. I'm sorry. YouTube, it was great. But she went from being raped to then falling into a very toxic relationship where, she's, experiencing a lot of things that, no human being should experience. Then she had the 3 abortions. So there's a lot of things that happened to this girl. So I agree with everybody. She's definitely going through something. I do believe that she's more than what she's talking about here. She's not going to share it with us, and I'm not a psychiatrist, so I'm not going to try to diagnose her.
Mm-hmm.
But I would agree with you guys. There is something. There's a there.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say, Chanel, you there?
We
Chanel.
can't hear you, Cam.
Yes, sir.
All right. What's your take and time in now that you hear more of what Danae is talking about? Your overall take.
Well, I feel like this is probably the first time I ever seen a case where the wife is taking all the blame for a man cheating on her. Like I never seen that happen before. Usually the man takes a lot of the blame, and also the mistresses usually get more of the blame as well. But this is the first time I ever seen the wife get like a lot of the blame. So that's really interesting. But like y'all were saying, I do think she has some psychological issues, but I guess when we're talking about people who have psychological issues, if you ridicule them, then it kind of makes them, I don't know, I guess it kind of makes people who have these kind of issues not, get the help they need, or either, admit that they need this kind of help, because, in the Black community, we kind of, we don't, we tend to ridicule people who have psychological issues. So,
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that people don't ridicule her to the point where other women who have these issues, or other people who have these issues, feel like, oh, I can't come forth, I can't get the help because people are going to think I'm crazy. So.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, man. Like I said, with her, and I told people I had Deidre on the first part, on the last previous stream on this, and like I said, I'm not known in the field of the psychology and all that stuff, and all the terminologies. Yeah, it can be problematic, and usually a person that's more professional will do more analysis. But overall, he already watched the first video, and he already concluded that this woman is not in no condition to be even dating because of that. And as you know, what happens when you get in this situation where you've been touched like that you brush off like it's nothing, and for a reason, it's protection of not only yourself, but you don't want to let your family members know. But the consequence of doing that, you're going to feel the after effects. And to find that she went and got not one but 3 different therapists, even to the point where she talked about the one in UK said they analyzed and said nothing wrong with her, is a big red flag to me. And it makes me wonder if that, to a lot of us as people, even we got the money or not, do we really take our mental health really serious? I mean, literally. Because to me, I think she did not really go ahead with the few therapists that she appointed, because she looked for that one that won't deny her of what really is wrong with her. I'm very convinced now, even when she admit that and said that she gone through tests and said nothing was wrong with her, it makes me believe that, yes, something's wrong with you, and you find some other opinion and pay some big money to really overshadow that. Personally.
Well, you know what, Chaos, but if anybody paid attention, she kind of told off on herself.
The whole
Because Derek, she said that when her and Derek was having a particular conversation, and Derek was saying, that's it, you got to go right now. and she got up and she called her mom, tucked tail, and ran. Derek was going to admit her behind. That's what he was going to do. If you go back and listen to that, that's exactly what she said.
I think that's a fair point, which I think he messed up too, because if that was an out for him, and according to her, he met her or he ran to her, whatever how she's framed it, he should never did that. He should just like, yo, let me just be single. Let me deal with this at a distance. But I don't know. Like I said, it's both. Me personally, I said a long time ago, it's both of them. I think they. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Been in a relationship with a narcissist?
I can't say that I have, but I mean, relationship or sleeping with, no. A relationship that I had, the experience I had with one, yes. So I pandered to this person. I got the love bombing a lot. I had like people that she would just like, yo, you need to let that let's say for example, if me and Chaotic is cool with the same agreement, right? But you come in and say something and Chaos can disagree to your opinion. And then behind closed doors, she would just tell me like, yo, you need to let Chaos go. And I'm like, yo, this is my man $100,000. No, he got to go like now. That, yeah.
The reason why I asked that is because everyone is like, and the sad part is just hearing everything that's going on. I don't even think he'll be able to come out and really truly tell his side of the story. He will never be able to tell, painting her tell the real deal, the fill in the gaps that she wasn't able to give us. He's not gonna be able to tell that, because then he's going to be dragged to hell. But she was able to drag him to hell first, and everybody's having all the sympathy for her. If you've ever
his hands are not clean, that's the reason why he can't.
If you ever been in a relationship with a narcissist, someone who
I have
you, they love you, and then then that gaslighting makes you question your whole reality. But because
have you walking on eggshells, have you questioning yourself, making you think it's you? Yes, I've gone through all of that. Okay, but what I'm saying is
first though. Like,
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The reality is he will never be seen as the one who is being gaslit, because he's a very brawny, muscular, tall man.
That's not it.
Ever give him the benefit of the doubt.
That's not it.
Because I'm sorry, asking someone to help you with your homework is not manipulation.
It's not even that. It's just that he manipulated millions of women. So if he can manipulate millions of women,
not done.
But what I'm just saying is, can I interject real quickly? Just real quickly. If he can manipulate millions of women, what do you think he's gonna do with that one woman that he's with all the time?
So you're just gonna be disagreeable, right? Like, just be.
I'm sorry if you can't take other people's opinions.
Just going to. I was quiet.
You can finish. I just wanted to say that one thing. I did ask nicely, but you're not into sharing the conversation. But go ahead.
I was quiet when you were talking.
So okay, go ahead.
You have no self-control. That what you have to say is more important.
Oh, okay, now see what you're not gonna do is chastise me.
But I already did though.
Young lady, please.
How you gonna call me?
No. Please continue what you were going to say. Look. It don't even matter at this time. We both grown women. We're both grown women.
Ladies.
Okay, continue what you had to say.
Yeah, ladies. Now you're such an attitude after interjected and was being rude.
Ladies.
Okay, well you're being rude right now.
Hold on, ladies. Hold on. Breathe. I'm gonna let you finish, and because this stream's pretty long enough, I probably will soon have y'all close statements. So wherever finish y'all statements, please. But finish statement and we'll do it closer.
I've helped many classmates with their homework and never felt manipulated. Even if I may have had some crushes, if they did not respond to that crush, never not once felt manipulated. You cannot manipulate women who know you're in a relationship, know you're married, because by 2018, these women knew he was married. You can't saying that he cheated prior to them getting married. moot point because they weren't in a relationship. He did not manipulate all these women. These women knew full well that he was married. Now, the ones that came out on Tasha K, they were they said that, well, he said we were separated. And the truth and reality is both Denia and Derek said, yeah, they were separated at the time. They were still legally married, but they were separated. She left. So I'm not seeing manipulation on his part. I'm seeing manipulation on her part. But the sad part is he's not going to be able to come out and tell his story in full detail like she did, because nobody wants to hear it from a 6 foot plus man who's muscular and good looking, because such men are never victims. They're
They
never
get mad.
victims of physical abuse. They're never victims of verbal abuse. They're never victims of sexual assault. No one will
True.
ever see him. No one ever see her as the monster, because look at her. She's soft. She's small. She's the mirror. But that's exactly how she wants people to see her. But I didn't fall for it. I don't know her. I don't know him. I don't have a dog in this fight. My objective opinion is, my professional opinion is, she is not telling the whole story. She lied about what the therapists are saying, which means she lied about everything else. She's giving us bits and pieces of what she wants us to have in order to place herself in a good light with the public. She's very good. She's very good at what she's doing. She's highly manipulative and vindictive, and that came from her own fingers, from her Twitter. I mean, her Instagram. And I land there.
Okay, I agree that there is something wrong with her psychologically. I agree that there is some manipulation on her part, but I'm not going to put all of it in her lap. Like I said earlier, as far as Derek and people knowing that he was married, I didn't even know the man was married until this whole thing happened.
Hmm?
I didn't. I really didn't. A lot of women didn't. So, for you to say that these women knew, a lot of women did not know he was married. And Danae sat up there and said the same thing. She said a lot of women didn't even know that he was married, even though he wrote a book. I just found out about that. Talking about their marriage, didn't know. He never really spoke on his marriage when he did his videos a lot. So he was still carrying on like he was a single man. But I will say this, I do believe that, she does need to get some help. She does have something going on with her. I'm not a psychiatrist, so I can't diagnose her. But I do believe you're right. She's not being honest about, anything that she discussed with any psychiatrist, if she even went to one. Because she doesn't appear to be a woman that went to go and get that type of help. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and agree with you guys on that. But does she have the absolute right to be in the state of outrage that she's in? Absolutely. Because once again, we're not going to sit up here and ignore the fact that we have all these women coming out of the woodworks, and whether she knew about it before we did is neither here nor there. Now, if you talk to any relationship counselor, they will tell you that you cannot place a timeline on somebody's healing after you have broken the trust in the relationship. It may take that person a year. It may take that person 10 years to trust you again. And that hurt may never, ever go away. And it is on the person that inflicted the hurt on the other person to make that better. And so you guys are putting too much of the onus on her when he was the one that stepped out on the marriage. I'm not talking about the situationship. I'm talking about the actual marriage. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Great Pill, do me a favor.
Yes,
Go on
sir.
Derek Jack's IG now page and check if his page has more than 100 more either posts or whatever. Can you double check right now quickly?
Cool. On it now.
Chanel, do you have any closing statements? Shalom.
Not really. I agree with Faith. I don't think that Danae should be taking the bulk of the blame for what happened. I think that Derek is a grown man and he made the decisions that he made, and hopefully, people will hold them both accountable for their part in what happened.
Thank you, Chanel. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, so what are we looking for? Okay, so his following count is 1.3 million. His
No, I'm not concerned about his font. I want to know how many posts he has present. If you could share your page, that'd be good. If you could share
sure,
your
no
screen.
problem. No problem.
Okay. And that's
He
looking.
has over 1,800 posts, but I will say this, and I'm
Okay, there we go. That's what I want to know. All right.
yeah, he has over 1,800 points. I'm gonna say this.
But before you say something, I need to look. Scroll all the way up top to his the top. Let me read. Okay, so he has. So I'm gonna show how long he has IG. Now the reason why I'm want you to post this because I want to see the people that follow these so-called social media influencers. There's always pictures of people's actions, right? And to those that's paying attention, which I'm going to believe a good majority of those that follow him don't really pay attention enough unless he does his little videos. Okay, I am of the belief, not assuming, that people go by what they see through visuals. They don't go by mostly what they read or the post and follow every action. If they catch the reels. This man was married for 5 years. Well, he still is married because I don't think they dissolved. And it's posted on his social media, especially on IG. Right? So those that knew he's married, knew. Those that didn't, they didn't because they were not really invested in knowing a little bit more about the man. And then I can go through 1,800 posts. And anything that he posts 5 years ago, I guarantee is the count of posts that he has now. And I would say it probably falls under 800 or 900 at best. And I'm just giving guesses. So the point is this, and let me take this down. There's some people knew and some people know. And the reason why I say some knew, some didn't, because a lot of people were not really invested in know more in depth, say, especially women that are single, which a good portion of the ladies are. They're not gonna look and say what this man really is like. Is he married? That they're gonna try find and seek this dude out. They're more infatuated of what he looks and what he says. They're not really going into detail. Say, I wonder if I can get a chance to know him. Let me see if he's single. And even if he was married, that's not gonna stop most ladies. Let's stop it. Let's stop the cap. They're gonna still try to get at him. It is what it is. Any closing remarks, ladies?
I just want to say that when you are in a relationship with a narcissist, there is no accountability on your end until he comes out with a full story of exactly what happened, like she gave. I'm going to stick to my assessment of her, that she's a narcissist. She's not a victim. She's not innocent. Regardless of him cheating or not, their marriage would have still broken up. They would have not have lasted. So the fact that she manipulated him into a marriage, knowing that that's not what he wanted. He wasn't into her like that. There was other women that he was sleeping with. He had a rotation. She was in it. She manipulated him into marriage. She got the relationship she wanted. She got what she wanted, and she got what her hand called for. And I can't sit here and say, oh, poor you, after you knowingly went in with your eyes open, and then you had a different expectation of, well, we're married now, so you're supposed to choose me. Unless that conversation is had, there is no guarantee. You can't have that expectation. And I tell this to all my female clients. You never go in blindly. You negotiate the relationship that you want. You have these conversations very clearly up front. You set your boundaries and you do not sacrifice them. If you do, whatever comes, you're gonna have to eat that. That L is on you. You cannot put the responsibility of how you feel and what you've gone through on the other person, because a leopard never changes its spots. A snake is going to be a snake. And if you decide to dance with the devil, you're going to dance and you're going to lose. But you can't blame anyone but yourself.
Okay. Faith, any closing statements?
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's very difficult because I think that they both need to take responsibility. I would not put responsibility on just Derek, because I do believe that there was some manipulation from Danae, but I can't also not put all the onus on her, because Derek was cheating and Derek is a grown man If he wanted to not marry her, he could have just not married her. Nobody twisted his arm. Nobody came to the wedding with a shotgun. I didn't hear anybody say it was a shotgun wedding. So, he made that decision of his own accord. He's a grown man, man, man. So I watched the video. She did take a lot of accountability for a lot of things, shared a lot of things that, like I said, I wouldn't even share. Like even the part about her daughter, that was a little bit much. And that told me right there, like the lady said earlier, that there's definitely something wrong with her psychologically when she can see other women in her own child. So I do agree with that. But we're talking about a woman here that's had a lot of trauma throughout her life. She's had abandonment issues, and she basically did what a lot of women that have trauma do. They choose men trying to repair a relationship that they had with their father. And she talked intensively about the abandonment issues that she dealt with there. So, is that Derek's fault? No. But at the same time, when two people get married, you take what you call vows. And when you stand there before each other, your family, the church, and God, you promise to love, honor, cherish each other, forsake all others. All of that is in the vows. And to say that this woman should not have expected her husband to honor the vows is crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, we hoping that most people, when they decide to take that bigger step into the the contractual vows part, that we hope they obligate their end of the bargain. I totally agree with you, Faith. Chanel, did you have any closing statement?
No, just great discussion.
All right, thank
I
you.
enjoyed it. Hmm.
Hope to see you again soon on our future stream. All right, Chanel. All right. All right, great pill. Any last remarks? I don't know if you say any last remarks.
Yeah, I'm glad you showed the reflection of when it was asked, like, hey, nobody didn't know the man was married. The women were saying, even the women were saying, like, okay, well, it's on his Instagram, is here, you know. If you remember, anybody remember the good old Facebook days? I still have it. There were some women and men that they didn't care, but it was in the status. Even the ones when the women said complicated, the men knew. Even the ones when the men had their status up there, the women knew. But again, it's both of them got issues. I don't know. It's like I said, man, this is a lot. I think she got issues. I think personally she's doing all this for the attention, to gaslight this man to get him out. She clearly stated she had money. And this is on the IG one. She had the money. She housed him. She fed him. She clothed him. She got him up looking nice and clean, the way she wanted to model him. I really think that she manipulated this man to the point where she's like, you know what, I'm gonna groom you. And she even mentioned in her past that she had daddy issues. Her dad.
Great pill. I just want it as quickly as possible because I don't want to be. I'm almost.
Oh, no problem, sir. Okay.
It's very late. I didn't think this stream was going to be this super long, but I love every minute of it. Go ahead.
It's a good conversation. Everything pretty much. Miss Letitia kind of wrapped it up nicely in the bow. So yeah, they both deserve each other, but I guess he just had enough. He got a kid and he saw some kind of little light. He just had enough and he did. Like, she one way she on, one way she off. Hell, just even her Instagram. So it's a lot, man. She knew what she got herself into. Let's just say he was evil. Let's just say he was. Everybody say he is. She knew. She saw. She's naming people, name dropping 11 women. She knew, and she still stuck with it. So now he out. Now she mad. You should be happy, but she not. So I'll leave it like that.
Thank you, Great Pill. I appreciate it. And like I said, please email me. All right.
Sure.
Until next time. All right. Peace. And Miss Letitia Underwood. For those that's not familiar, this is her card. This is her promo. You there, Letitia? Hello.
Yes, I'm here.
And what's the links for people to follow you? Just a
But
reminder.
you can follow me on IG at Two Hearts Exclusive. You can just Two Hearts Exclusive either with the number two or it's spelled out TWO. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Matchmaker with Letitia Underwood. Of course, my banner has changed. I forgot to give you, this is my old banner. Um, and I focus on helping young women attract, date, and marry men in the top 5% of individual income earners. Whew, it's a long night. I'm tired now. This is a good show, Chaos. This is a really good show.
Yeah, man. It's not like how how Clubhouse go. They do like 24-hour
Hmm.
streams, 35-hour streams. Hell, even 3 days. I can't do it. We're on another platform where time is very limited. Sometimes we do these long streams, but they make sense, so they're not just long and drawn. It all adds up and makes perfect content at the end if you have the patience and the audacity to sit and listen and learn. You know. So, like always, Letitia Underwood, it's good to have you back on here. And like I said, anything else that needs to be covered, and like I said, this is a learning thing. It's a teachable moment that they're getting an actual perspective. I had a therapist for the first part, and now I have you as a woman that does this for a living, deal with clients. Once was women, now deal with men, and you know what you deal with on a daily day basis. Knowing you deal with more high tier people that's roughly over six figures, still same thing. You know, you know what they're expecting in the market. You know what's going on, and one thing's evident: you must know what you're getting into before you say "I do." And if the phase of the counseling doesn't work well, then you know the marriage by default is already doomed from the start. Am I right, Miss Letitia?
Yes, I tell men and women, set your standard, and then you have your boundaries firmly in place. People who don't have boundaries, then people are going to just do whatever they want. Like, that's human nature. Like, even therapists will tell you the way that human behavior works is people will do whatever what they want, right? People are just going to do something. Like, no one is truly altruistic. You can't put the responsibility on someone else to treat you appropriately when you don't even put that on yourself. So set your boundaries and make sure that you're looking out for yourself and you're taking care of yourself, and don't put that responsibility on someone else, because they just may not know how to treat you exactly how you need or desire to be treated. So set your boundaries, have your standards, set your boundaries, and don't sacrifice them. And when someone wants you to sacrifice your boundaries or they can't handle your boundaries, then you know that that person is not for you. And I'm sorry, but I'm not one of those people who, well, both people are accountable in relationships. I've seen relationships where a person has done absolutely nothing, is not deserving of any of the treatment that they're getting, and someone is dumping all of their trauma, wanting them to heal them and make them perfect and make them happy. That's a lot on a person. So get therapy, get real therapy, get help. If you're going to be out here dating, you're looking to pair with someone. A lot of women fail to realize that the reason why they're not in relationships is their inability to pair bond. And I can tell by the way that women engage, the way they communicate, the way that they move, the way they go about their lives, especially on social media, it shows that their pair bonding is impaired. So a lot of women are probably wondering why their relationships don't work out, why they can't get in relationships. Therapy will help you to unpack and uncover that. There's a lot of childhood traumas that people aren't dealing with. They're expecting the other person to make them feel better about life, to give them something, to pour into them. That's not the other person's responsibility. You can't be walking through life with all this trauma and all this baggage and think that the other person is just supposed to know what to do with that. We all have our trauma, so we all have our responsibilities and duties to ourselves first and foremost. I wish Denaya the best. I truly hope that God works to heal her heart. I wish her children all the best, and I wish Derek the best, and I hope that they can eventually, regardless of what the public is saying, come together for the sake of their children and co-parent, because those children, like you said, that oldest one especially, like if she ever comes across that stream, she's going to need therapy to cope with that and deal with that, to cope with the fact that her mother has issues that have nothing to do with her. So I wish them nothing but the best, and I'm going to keep them in my prayers.
Yes, indeed, indeed, indeed. And like I saw, like always, follow her on Clubhouse mostly, and she does have a YouTube channel, and I hope that she'll put more content.
I'm leaving Clubhouse. They got to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm relaunching my YouTube channel. I'm really going to get into doing content over there. I have my first 7 days of content coming up. 9 a.m. starting Sunday, 9 a.m. every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. I'll go live speaking to women on subject matters on how to attract, date, and marry high value men that are in the top 5% of individual income earners.
Y'all heard that first, man, here on the Chaos Range Show. And like always, I'll be anticipating watching that, see how that goes. God, Letitia, you're going to get gray hairs. You're going to get stressed. These women are going to run you down the ground. I could sense the threats, all this beautiful stuff that's going to come down the line for you. But I wish you the best. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be wonderful. You're going to do some real work. It's going to be different than Kendra G, all that fake nonsense, that dating show where she just don't hold no person accountable, maybe the man, but not the woman. And the woman think they're going to get a top tier man. I say you're delusional. I can't wait for this broadcast. So I'm not hoping, but I'm expecting greatness. Do you hear me, Letitia?
I hear you and I appreciate it. And I thank you for having me on. I always enjoy coming on your show, even though it's always late. But thanks for having me on.
Good. Excellent. 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 All right. And like always, we keep in touch soon. All right. Could you have email? All right. All right. Please join the Chaos Range Show. As you can tell, you see the amount of nice badge and custom emojis. Ooh. So as you can tell, join the Chaos Range Show. As you know, there are some perks. As you know, there are 2 tiers of membership. Membership 1, $2.99. As you know, the first membership, as it tells from the description, exclusive members only videos, and also some videos that will be only depending on the situation will be put on members. Not every video will be members only, but the ones that are members only or custom members only videos, you'll see mostly on the first tier. Stage 1, called Enter the Chaos, stage 1. Now, the other one, the $7.99 one. As you know, there's early access to new videos, member shoutouts, photos and status updates. Maybe I had to edit. I might not put no photos, maybe updates. I might. We'll see, depending on how many people join the top tier one. And like always, exclusive members and members only live streams. And personally, as this builds up, I might do the live streams members only here more, mostly, roughly, than what's given here. Well, we have videos, so depending on what is I could put on here, it post mostly will be on the first tier. The second tier, depending how much is built up, there might be more exclusive live streams. Might be a little raw cut, uncut stuff, maybe on the members only True Chaos uncut version, which it speaks for itself. And another thing, if y'all did not know, there's a way why I priced the 2 memberships the way they are. If you could really understand the subliminal numbering of why I choose the first tier $2.99 and the other one $7.99. I'll say this. I doubt people's gonna figure it out, but let's say for the sake of conversation, they come across why I came up with these pricings. I might give you a maybe exclusive, maybe a shout out, or maybe more. Who knows? Maybe something special. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So, contemplate why I priced my channel the way it is. There's a certain codified code I use the numbers for a reason. I can't give you more detail than what I just gave you now. So I want you to think deeply on that when you catch the replay of this video. So those are membership.
He gonna
That's
speak
it.
to the women anyway. Even when
That's
the host,
it.
look, even when the host told him not to, it's like he can't help himself. He's sick.
He got to. He got to. The money
You
had
gotta
to
read
keep
between the
coming in.
lines. He was speaking to Danae. That I've seen him do this before. Y'all really, excuse me for interrupting. Like, I'm so sorry. I don't know if I have a slight delay or what, but I'm sorry I interrupted somebody. He's done this before where he'll be talking and he gives mixed messages, and it's like he's still dangling a carrot to her on it. It was like another thing he did where he's making it seem like there's still a chance for their marriage. So, I mean, again, Chaos, I would like for you to take off any manosphere lens and really try to look at this.
This is not Master Lens.
Okay. Well, some of you said earlier, I was like, oh my God. Okay. I know.
Order in which we live today. Continue.
Okay.
Well, with all due respect, and let me take the interruption back. I am red to black. I will say that much, and I do have a very strong clinical background. So I would concede to the point that he does have narcissistic traits with the push and pull and dangling the carrot or whatnot, just so we can have that sort of door open for narcissistic supply.
Yeah, he certainly does, but he's truly damaged, and she is too. Real one was right about that. I think they both they're codependent, and they've been doing this sick dance forever. But I think Chaos, when you can't apply things like, I think you said earlier something like, well, will she find another high value man after this? Derek's not high value. And I'm thinking, y'all, anybody using high value man is not high value man, because no one really uses that. It just, that's just my opinion of that. Derek, you know why we have to count integrity, but she can marry out and find, somebody else. So that won't be hard to find for her. She's a beautiful woman, but I think I would rather her get healed mentally. Something like a marriage is not necessarily a savior to a lot of people. So, and I think it's been weaponized in these spaces a lot. So I mean, Danae is highly educated, and so that's not something that'll save Danae a marriage. She obviously has some problems, and I would hate for whoever's Derek will marry. It'll be the same thing. These people are not healed. But I'll go on mute, and then I want to respond to something you said earlier too.
Well, you gotta keep in mind. The reason why I use that word very loosely, the high value, is because there's a lifestyle that her and Derek now, let's say, have consumed, and we all know once you touch the top fruits of the tree, it's hard to taste anything less than that. That's why I refer the high value piece. You get me? Not saying she can't find another person. She's a church woman. If she goes to church, any woman could possibly find some mate. I mean, there are some men still in church. That's my check. But Deacon, you were about to say something?
I was about to say, they both are very much damaged or whatnot. I know there was a point put out there that there's a chance that she can get married again. I mean, I vehemently disagree, because any guy with some level of some sense, seeing that the sort of judgment that she made after experiencing trauma and not developing herself and going through the channels of healing, that's enough right there. Only to, you know, continue with somebody with that level of sickness themselves or whatnot. So that would tell me or anybody else who's, you know, has something going for themselves, that person's untouchable. And why would I want somebody who chose their first and their primary, their best, to give their best and their all to somebody who's trash? Why would I go after that? And land my plane there.
Yeah, that okay. First of all, how do I put this delicately? Yes, yes, a man will still marry her, even with this. I think y'all are putting some type of
Really?
almost like, no. Well, listen, I mean, because you're coming from a position of that men are in this position of coming from a perfection standpoint. Yes, she'll get married again, and she can, and yes, a man will with all her baggage, she can still find a man. I think y'all are applying some type of a lofty type of how would I try to put it? A man who can afford that doesn't care, and I said this the other day on the panel. Men who really have something and they can, you know, she can get counseling, and they can have a comfortable life. They don't care about the stuff and this pickiness that I think that men who really don't have that care about. And that's what I've noticed. It's like y'all are, women are not in need of that, like of marriage. Like I'm pro marriage, but what I'm saying is y'all are acting like that it's a necessity, like it maybe used to be. So I think what you think that marriage is to what kind of what you might think it is, it's really not. It's not what that is. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Well,
So you're not a prize. It's not a prize. So that's what I'm trying to say. So you're not doing her a favor by marrying her. She can find someone.
We most definitely ain't being done a favor because she's considered a liability. I could tell you the truth a little bit about me, right? Just as an archetype in the circles I run around. Okay, I'm Sigma Pi Phi Boule. Okay, Kappa Alpha Psi member, Ivy League educated, not one institution, 3 institutions with a PhD. And you better ask about my reputation because I got it to spend. Okay.
That's so basically. I mean, okay. So that's not important to some people.
Wait a minute. Please, I did not interrupt you, ma'am. I did not. Okay, to date somebody like that, that damage will be considered a liability. Okay, maybe she will get married or whatnot, but maybe not to the caliber of somebody who she would have initially done. Should she have gotten the healing on the front end? Well, nobody would have known, but this public, this damaging, and even, you know, the bad judgment, even after, you know, experiencing trauma, that's the first thing you're thinking about is jumping into a relationship, especially when you're constantly being triggered. So to a certain extent, we can't sit up here and use victimhood as a veil or a blank check for the lack of good judgment. We just can't.
Oh no, I'm actually not even using victimhood at all. Quite the contrary. What I'm saying is that to try to, I guess, men are these days trying to, especially black men, I've noticed, trying to weaponize marriage like then you wouldn't choose her or whatever. But at the same time, people can conceal all manner of mental illness. People can hide that type of stuff for a long time. So if men were this great at choosing, we wouldn't have a divorce rate like we do. So I just think that it's this, y'all are coming from this like a high and mighty place that it doesn't even, it's like, who cares? I mean, really, and I do mean to be flippant about that. It's like, so what, you wouldn't pick her? Who are you? Even with the things that you've amassed, I'm just saying that she might not be looking for someone like you anyway. Maybe this time she'll want maybe another race or someone who has who can be trusted, who's trustworthy, has good character, and things like that. So statistically,
women initiate the divorces. You saying we're using
Yeah,
it?
women do. Yes, women
Okay,
certainly do.
so how?
Right. So obviously, and so women aren't caring about all this. If women will leave a guy, apparently some of these things that accoutrements of wealth or something, or or just people having money, because that's not really wealth. It doesn't matter to everyone.
All I'm saying is,
I
we
want
always like to look
okay.
for the Cinderella story. We always like to look for anecdotal or the exception, but generally, and by virtue of statistics, it's very much unlikely that she will be remarried to somebody.
You
with
don't know
certain
that,
things.
and you don't know it. And
No,
again,
I
you
won't
don't.
hold my breath.
Right. But that's
I
it's
will too.
her marital state shouldn't even matter to you all. That's the thing. That's because it's almost like that's all y'all feel like you have to weaponize. Literally, I'm kind of picturing like this. Yeah, picture you go back in time and y'all are trying to use a key to a car that doesn't work anymore, like a remote that doesn't work to anything. That doesn't work anymore. So it just doesn't. This woman will be fine. She may not be hungry for going out and being married again, but marriage but other men, there's depth and stuff like that I've noticed. So we don't know that. We don't know if she's even looking for that again. So
Could you
you
show
can't
me the
predict
line?
whether or not she'll be married. You don't know what
What
another man will do.
Could you show me the
let
line?
me add this, Deacon. Before you say it, let me add this. Can I go for the second what do you call it? Interview with Danae. And one thing is evident, she knows her mental illness. And the strange thing about it, she went and I guess went to go get the what do you call therapy, find a psychiatrist, right? And for her own out, she went through a dozen or a couple of them. So she found one that she said was suitable for her, right? So it makes me think said when we talk about mental illness, there's always some therapy, and I'm not sure what therapy she's looking for, but if you're going to one and you're going to more than multiple, it seems you look for one that's going to cater to the things that you're going through and say hearing not only honest truth, but ways to really find ways to slowly heal and cope properly. That I
No,
caught.
that's not why chaos.
Therapy
No,
shopping.
no, 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 no. Stop. This is why I can't. Because if this was the other shoe, other man, and we listen, I say, brother, you look for someone to comfort you, but you actually help, and you go for more than 3 therapists, right, white and black, and you had to keep going and firing until you find one. I had to question you because what's wrong with the other therapists? They had to go for multiple of them. That means you look for one that's going to sit there, that's going to cater to your illness. So you want to hear what you want to hear. Come here, it is a business. Some therapists are going to do the job, and some are just going to look at you and they're going to look at the track record. Come here, they talk, they go through things. And if I wish Steve the rest here, he could probably validate this. That most people, why they don't like going to therapy, because they don't want to hear the actual honest truth about themselves and find ways what I should do. And they want to hear from a person that's a clinical practitioner to tell them straight and say, this is what you have to do, this, that. They're going to care to your feelings, but they're going to have to give you the real honest truth. Just like a doctor. If you're going to die, he's going to tell you, you're going to die. If you don't do this, that's it.
Chaos, you're making a lot of assumptions. First of all, there's way too many.
An assumption.
Oh, wait. Deacon,
Well,
you said
not
something.
so much
Let me
assumptions, but
answer
based on what we know about her.
So ridiculous.
Deacon, what you said?
Can I please?
Go ahead, DK.
Okay, can I please reply to that? All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's this modality called DBT, and within DBT, there's something called therapeutic interfering behaviors. Okay, therapy searching and shopping is one of the things that does happen. It is a frequent thing. Okay, so
Okay.
I think that we could try to move the goalposts or do whatever the case may be. It is very much a thing, or whatever the case may be. I can understand if it's a modality that you might not necessarily gel with, which there's tons and tons of variety of theoretical approaches and practices or whatnot. But if at about 3, you continue to have problems and stuff like that, then that means that you probably just don't want to reflect on some of the healing that needs to be done. Healing is a painful process. Refusing to heal is very much suffering. So this is what's been going on. People will continue to suffering without the healing. and that's what therapeutic shoppers do. You can look it up.
Okay.
First of all, variables to that. Sometimes the easiest thing might be just easiest. But you're making an assumption that she's looking for someone to cater to her illness. First of all, it could be that the times aren't working. It could be that she might not. Something about a person might trigger her. Anything. Maybe she prefers a woman. Maybe the distances. You all are drawing conclusions that don't even make sense. It doesn't even have to be all that, and I think this is what I'm saying.
The strength of the evidence. I'm gonna stop you there.
Speaking.
The strength of the evidence. Well, I'm not gonna let you sit up here and lie.
Well, she at least was looking for therapy.
Does not make any sense. You can go on.
It does make sense. You don't have to. Doctor shopping is not necessarily what she was doing. My goodness.
You can filter out African American. You can filter out distances. You can filter out distance therapy or whatnot. And if distance doesn't work, you can go into person or whatnot. If you had time then to start the initial session, you have time to follow through. It's whether or not you're committed. One of the first things therapists
you don't know her reasoning. I'm just saying you're making assumptions.
I don't. But it's
right,
just fishy.
And it doesn't even need to go that far.
It is fishy. That's all I'm saying.
It's not. Well, it's not fishy. It may not be fishy.
Yes. You said something, Deacon? What?
No, I'm saying you do have a point. You do have a point. Okay. 3 is a lot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but like I said, I'm just learning. So at times, this is what I'm drawing in conclusion personally, but like I said, I don't have these mental illness like that. So I'm somewhat lucky. But for everybody that's going through trauma, everybody copes differently. But at the end of the day, you got to go seek the help eventually. You get me? And that
if they choose to, people don't have to if they don't want to.
Well, if they don't want to, Melinda, the outcomes they face, they're going to continue to deal with outcomes, and that's out of our control. You get me?
Suffering, as I stated before.
Suffering, yeah, it's suffering, yeah. Hustler, you have anything to say?
Yeah, sure. What was I saying? I'm not going to say it's about assumption. It's just based on what we know. Because if Denia does get married again, she can't go into a new marriage already broken because of what Derek Jackson did to her.
Why are y'all so worried about this woman? Can you focus on Derek Jackson? He's a man that cheated with over 100 women.
We talked about Derek Jackson already, didn't we?
Man, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You Black can quit worried about women so much. This is Derek Jackson's interview this time. We can focus on Derek. Y'all stay.
We already talked about Derek Jackson, did we not?
Talk about men.
We talk about men all the time on these kind of podcasts. We talk about what Derek Jackson did. Let's talk about his wife.
You're not in her income range anyway. Why y'all worry about what this woman's marriage will be?
What does that have to do with anything? What does income have to do with this?
It doesn't even matter. Her marriage is none of your business.
I didn't say it was any of my business. I don't want it to be any of my business. I don't care. I'm just stating a fact. If she goes into a new marriage broken, then it's not gonna help her any. She gonna inflict the same trauma that she experienced from Derek on the next guy.
There's a cheater who will go into anything else broken. So Derek as well.
Okay.
We'll concede to that one, but Derek got his issue. Okay, yeah.
Why are you worried about
they her? Both got issues, really.
What is her going into another relationship of concern of yours? I'm just asking. Instead of us just
because she can't go into a new relationship broken because of.
So what?
She got to get the help first. Okay, she needs to get the help first.
Everyone who gets married unbroken. Are there unbroken people going into marriages today? Are there people who've endured trauma and are cheating or narcissists who going into marriage today?
And those people don't need to be getting married, plain and simple.
Well,
you can't go into a relationship with all your baggage, bring it into the doggone marriage.
Most people are broken, so then no one would be married.
I'm not going to say most people are broken, but I will say this. A lot of people, everybody got baggage. Everybody got some issue. Ain't nobody 100% put together. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about a woman that's clearly got issues that don't make her quite fit to be in a relationship. Hell, her and Derek got issues that don't make them fit to be in a relationship.
Who get married every day. So, I mean, explain that.
And how long do those marriages last?
See, this is
So you're gonna
it's,
use the
it's out of
exception as a
y'all's depth,
standard.
and y'all are trying.
No,
Danae will
let's
be
not
fine.
use the exception.
Danae will be fine. So I know y'all worried about her future marriages for whatever
She
reason.
won't be if she doesn't get the healing, and it's not
And-
like we're knocking her.
That's
and
not-
it's not
that's-
like
but
we're
that's-
assassinating
Nobody's
her
knocking
character.
her.
You make people
We're
guilty.
just simply
People.
saying what she needs
Do
to
y'all know
do.
that therapy is continuous? It's not just so people have been in therapy
Therapist
30,
isn't-
40 years.
No, therapist isn't supposed to be continuous. You can look it up. It's called. Wait a minute. You. This is hilarious. You can look up evidence-based interventions or whatnot. Therapy ain't supposed to be continuous because it infringes on the self-determination of the person after you bestow them with the tools that they need so they can heal themselves. So let's stop with the lying here. Okay, you're not dealing with any fool. You're not. You can try that with other people.
I'm not lying. You don't have to get emotional. I don't need to get emotional. People can go to therapy as long as if they feel like they need it. Therapy is open to people to go to therapy. So they can. Well, they can. You might not be able to stay at the same therapist for 30 years, but you can go to therapy. Maybe something else. Maybe one part of therapy unlocks something else that you need to deal with. Right. People have the right to get counseling and therapy as long as they want to.
No, they don't.
I would say,
okay. And what about people who go to AA?
Linda,
I'm sorry. Is AA a form of therapy?
Melinda?
No, it's not. It's actually
not exactly.
Really? Okay. So people go to AA forever, and after they finish the steps, why do they keep going?
Forever.
They start them over.
No. There's therapeutic interventions, and it's called treatment dosage response. After you get to a certain point, the treatment isn't as effective as it was at a
dosage.
Certain time.
That would imply there's medicine.
You could the treatment dosage response does apply to therapy. Look it up.
Medication.
You know how
medication.
Let me go on ahead and send you an article because I'm that empirical guy. You didn't mess with the wrong one. Trust me.
Melinda, let me say this. Let me say this, Melinda. While everybody's watching, please like the stream and support if y'all can. Like this. If I can remember. Damn, that almost slipped my head. Nothing said. It's gonna get back.
And somebody said in the comments that neither one of these two are going to be successful in the event that they move on. That's the part I've been trying to make all along.
No, that's not the point you were making. And whoever
they're
said
both
that,
broken, so I can't imagine either of them moving on until they get where they need to be.
These males tend to want. They're this modern woman type of thing. It's like they want to make sure Danae doesn't find it. And guess what? She's a woman. She will. And I know that bothers y'all. Don't worry about what
it don't bother us.
Yeah, well, but you focus on that instead of seeing this man up there on the stage with all sorts of red flags.
Now I remember.
We just talked about Derek Jackson for a whole 2 hours.
Guys, let me say this.
What men do this? This is so.
Let me say this, Melinda. We all can come to the conclusion, because Danae admit this, that she knows the man was all right, screw around while they're meeting in college. The biggest question I should ask: why would you stay with a man and you already know he's already stepping out? Even to the point you're in this, you're out this. It's like you gotta make a decision. You already know he has already access to other women, and it's already been prevalent while you're in school, even out of school, even go as far as staying in it. So she know what she was getting into, and still stay. It's only Derek had to make the decision now to let it go, because what he said before. And trust me, if the money was not involved, personally, from how I'm looking at this, they would still be married. She would not have ended the divorce. I'm not finished. Even to the point she said that she initially divorced back in, was it 2020, I believe? So I say, why you didn't go through with it? Matter of fact, even first of all, you shouldn't got married, but let's say you're married and now why you didn't go through with it? Because she's still bonded with this dude to the point he had to pull the plug now. So
this is not about her mother. And
when you come to stop. When you're comfortable and you make a decision to stay with a man that you know he's already messing around and keep messing around, now you are solidifying the cheating to the point that it doesn't really matter now. So the only person that ended this relationship was Derek. Now, to me, it better off he was upfront and honest. But we all know how the nature of people like to lie and try to keep playing the fence. But I say this, and I say this so people hear this. It's going to come to a point no matter what age you might as well be honest if you're going to deal with this day market here. And make people make decisions if they want to stay or go or entertain. All this game and guessing, not getting nobody nowhere. Because we having these babbles and nonsense, and we already know from videotape 1, 2, and 1, 2 from Danae and Derek, it's evident that both y'all better off staying with each other. Because
no, they aren't. The fact that you can even say that.
I wouldn't go that far.
Stop. Hold on, stop. No one doesn't want both of them. Be honest with you. I don't care if they have money or she's gonna get money from him. Just by the infinite expose their flaws. If anybody decides to entertain both Derek and Danae, good luck. Now I see some in the back.
People date flawed people every day.
Oh, Deacon.
Like, gosh.
All right. I'm gonna share this because Deacon just put some in the back.
Oh yeah, that's treatment dosage response. I mean, that's you're not meant to be in therapy.
All right, hold on, I'm gonna pull it up now. All right. Can y'all see this? Let me move this because this is in the way. All right. I'm not
okay. So I just want to know. I mean, this is a peer-reviewed research article. You mentioned medicine in which this was adapted from. I'm just curious as to what you were stating about therapy not being tied to a certain amount of sessions. I just want to know.
No, I said that dose would imply that there's medication. It says the psychotherapy dose response effect and its implications for treatment delivery services.
Okay,
is this regarding a medication?
Psychotherapy? No, to psychotherapy.
Okay, it's psychotherapy, but you people do give medications along with psychotherapy too.
No. In this case, you will find.
So the psychotherapy is a dose.
Wait a minute. Pharmacotherapy is actually medication. You'll see medication not received in this article. I can promise you. Hey, why don't you go ahead and put Control F, Chaos Rain? See if you see medication there.
Control
I
F.
want to bet my bottom dollar is not there.
That Control F. It's not doing. Let me scroll down because for some reason it's not working. I think because I have a share screen. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, psychotherapeutic treatment.
Tell me if you see something. I'm scrolling down.
Okay, so in a nutshell,
so the psychotherapy is considered a dose.
No, it is a dose as respective to a particular session within a block of.
So a session or something is considered. So that's another name for doses in that field.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. I'm just saying. You see here, this abstract will only focus on a review to illustrate what dosage of psychotherapy is required to produce a clinically meaningful effect, meaning that after a while it won't be effective anymore, or if it's too minimum, it won't be effective. There's a Goldilocks zone. I'm just saying.
So are people barred from getting therapy if they want to continue getting therapy other places? So people can go to therapy as long as they want.
Not for years. It's
but they can. What's stopping them?
No, the therapist can terminate them and say, hey,
no, not that therapist. If they want to go to another therapist.
Now, if they choose to do it or whatever the case may be, it's not on that particular therapist. But if that's what they want to do, they can do it. But the therapist, it's incumbent upon the therapist to recommend that they sit out for a while. You can't tell people what they want to do or whatever the case may be, but it's not somebody's rights, as you stated earlier, for somebody to see a practitioner.
I said a different practitioner. You don't have to see the same.
No, that's not what you said. I mean,
yes, I did. I said you can go to another one. Who's going to see the same person? Might not be alive for 30 years.
You just now said that. You just now said
I said if they want to go, let's say whatever incident they had, they feel like it brought up some more traumas. So now they want to go to another therapist. People do remain in therapy for a long time, not necessarily to the same therapist.
Okay.
I'm just saying, but there's nothing stopping a person, the individual, for getting therapy all their life. That's what I said, and I was clear about it.
How about this? If you could quickly let me go on ahead and send you this other article It
Okay,
says,
this is probably the last article because I'm pushing almost 4 hours.
"Oh, my
I
bad."
know. Yeah, but you can start from one more article, and then this.
Okay, hold on.
I'm gonna stop this. Make sure you guys like the stream. Yeah. Because this is learning, so I'm learning something as we go along. So
hold on for a second. I'm gonna just respect your time. I'll do it a whole nother day. But in a nutshell,
cool.
it is called treatment interfering behaviors. Okay, where somebody can interfere with their own treatment by going to therapist, the therapist, or whatever the case may be, not following up or following through homework or any of the things that they need to do for their healing process. When people hear something they don't like, when people aren't necessarily ready, and then they go to someone else to tell them something that
is Derek in therapy?
I'm sorry?
Is Derek Jackson in therapy?
He said some things to indicate that there's a strong possibility he is, or that they at least
tried to commit suicide.
Because he said, like, for example, he used the term stonewalling. When he used the term stonewalling, that implied that he and Denia were at the very least in couples therapy at one time, because that comes from the Gottman.
Somehow. Oh my internet.
Yeah, and chaos.
Wait a minute. Can I finish?
Okay. I didn't know you were still talking about that. I really have no interest in to hear any more about that. Thank you.
Anyway,
my question was answered.
My point. As I said before, Derek Jackson was recommended to go to therapy, as he said that he was going to kill himself. We were basically recommended that he needed support himself. All right. Did we not? Hustler and Muscler and Chaos? Did we not? Did we not say that?
Yes, we did address that. We did address that.
Okay. So the little snippet that you're hearing right now, you want us to redirect to?
I feel sorry. Anyone if he's had suicide attempt and wanted to say,
and I'm going to continue to filibuster because you continue.
That's not filibustering.
Hey, I'm gonna just do what you.
I would like to address chaos.
I'm going to continue to filibuster.
Hey, this will be the last question. This will be the last question.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, and it's regarding you were mentioning the Denia's mother, and you said that they'd still be married if not for her mother. This girl had gotten out of the hospital. She'd been in the hospital for a long time. Went to a safe haven, which is her mom. Her mom knew Derek was bad news. I think anyone's seeing Derek would know that definitely bad news. It's like her mother was not the reason for them to divorce, and you're trying to apply some level of integrity and character to Derek. And I think to most men that is severely lacking. And so when you make statements, it literally I just shake my head, because it's like, no, that would be in the case. You can't apply like those types of positive characteristics to every man. I mean, so I think that was problematic.
Okay. My response, men are not perfect, women are perfect. From what I'm hearing from Derek's side, and Denia did not really talk much about her mother, but I hear a lot from Derek's side is telling right there in respect. Now, in regards to what she's facing, like I said, you get the help needed. Your mother's there for, wherever she need be there. But as you get married, at times as a married unit, I got to work it out eventually. If she's in close proximity for every little situation, it seemed to me that, you're not at the point where you had to trust what you learn and your judgment, and your husband has worked it out. I mean, we have family members, that's been married a long time. And last time I checked, if the mother was still alive, those really involved in their own affairs every second. It's not normal.
Derek
my
is a
opinion.
sociopath. So again, we're not talking about a normal marriage and a normal man. This man was. This was a whole. This was dangerous. This man was cheating and was living away from his home, even cheating. I don't think y'all are looking at this for what it really is.
No,
Chaos.
we
In
see
all
the whole
fairness,
picture.
in all
Oh,
fairness,
stop. No,
Did I- did I
let
not
me
say
I
answer.
think they never should have married. That's what. So that we can. I'm not on that, but
Melinda.
quit acting like just because they got married, they need to make it work.
Melinda, your fight is more than us. The whole purpose they should not got married, period. Now, once you decide to say I do or whatever, you already know what you get into. If like a man, if I know I'm dealing with a crazy chick and I'm married, and then I all of a sudden I must divorce, that's on me. And I already know what I get into.
Right.
We can't take
And you can get, out of it too.
We're gonna have
After all, men control access to marriage. So yeah.
Stop. We're not gonna go back for it with this shit. We know what it is and what it is. If this is the same foot on it, we have no argument with this. And trust me, she know what the fuck she's getting into. And the one thing that got mad at me all this, don't say nothing. What I got mad at all this is that you continue. And there's one thing the spirit said, and when we talking about bad man or narcissist or whatever you want to call man, once you spot it, you know too. You exit stage left. Once you stay, you are actually in contempt. Just like if I know I'm doing a crazy woman, and I stay, I am in contempt. And that is the end of it. Now, any closing remarks? Matter of screw this. I don't want to do no closing remarks. Thank you, Melinda. Thank you also, Musler. Deacon, you have any closing remarks?
The closing remarks is I think I actually made that very same point earlier about how people use other family members and relatives to kind of shield themselves from any sort of manipulation or whatever the case may be. Hybrid Cuts Out, man. Thanks for having me on the panel.
Thank you.
Like I said, I'm not the type to really stomp mud on people's carpet like that. So I apologize in that regard. And thanks for having me here. All right.
Thank you, Deacon. And like I said, when you do a panel, if I'm available, I'll email you. All right.
Okay. Hit me right there and just so you can get the link.
Yeah. I'll email to get the link. All right. But I'm not sure what I'm doing the weekend. I might be busy, but we'll see. All right.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Take care. Thank y'all for listening to tonight's stream. I just got a headache now.